counting down our picks for the top 10 smartest celebrities.
And it's a process of argument and give and take as to what happens.
For this list, we've looked at any celebrity with a history of being cleverer than the average person.
Why do the French have so many civil wars so they can win one now and again?
However, those who've achieved fame as a direct result of their cleverness do not qualify. The intelligence of today's contenders is not what they're most famous for.
I think everybody would say, oh yeah, there must be a spike for World War I. You know, sure enough, there it is, like 25 million.
Number 10, Natalie Portman. A globally admired film star, Natalie Portman is just as academically revered as well. Yes, she's got an Oscar, a BAFTA, and 2 Golden Globes.
Driven by these insecurities, I decided that I was going to find something to do at Harvard that was serious and meaningful, that would change the world and make it a better place.
But she's also a psychology graduate out of Harvard, and she's fluent in Hebrew. At Harvard, she contributed to a paper entitled Frontal Lobe Activation During Object Permanence, Data from Near-Infrared Spectroscopy, which is hard to say, let alone write.
I come up here sometimes when I can't sleep, or when I'm trying to reconcile particle data, or when Darcy's driving me crazy.
Portman once famously said she'd rather be smart than a movie star. As it turns out, she's doing a seriously good job at being both. Conan O'Brien.
There's time when you snuck into the room to see what the...
I sneaked into the room. Snuck isn't a word, Conan. And you went to Harvard and you should know that.
Primarily known as America's longest-working late-night talk show host. Before being a celeb interview supremo, Conan O'Brien was also busy racking up intelligence at Harvard University.
I spent a very intense period of my senior year writing a thesis called Literary Progeria in the Works of Flannery O'Connor and William Faulkner.
An esteemed literature and history graduate, O'Brien was president of the Harvard Lampoon Comedy magazine while he studied. His career as a writer was set out from an even earlier age, though.
And anyway, this is me. They found this photo, and that is actually me drumming. Get in there, close.
He graduated high school as valedictorian in 1981, having won national awards for a short story of his titled To Bury the Living.
Snuck, past and past part of sneak.
Number 8, Jodie Foster.
Why do you want me to go back to my parents? I mean, they hate me. Why do you think I split in the first place?
A film star with a thing for foreign languages, Jodie Foster actually attended a French language prep school during childhood.
Quand je parle français pendant pas mal de temps, ça me séduit, c'est la langue qui me séduit.
Consistently described as a gifted child, she could read at the age of 3 and is at least competent at most major European languages. In 1985, Foster graduated magna cum laude out of Yale University, despite the fact that she was already a movie star by then.
The 18-year-old actress was taking a sabbatical from Hollywood to attend Yale University.
Too often, child stars suffer a well-documented fall from grace. But for Foster, there was less self-inflicted scandal and much more schooling.
You fly back to school now, little Starling. Fly, fly, fly. Fly, fly, fly.
Number 7, Lisa Kudrow.
Smelly cat, smelly cat. What are they feeding you?
No, I'm sorry. It's smelly cat, smelly cat.
A surprisingly smart celeb given the role she's most famous for. The real-life Lisa Kudrow is very different to her Phoebe from Friends alter ego.
No, don't. Stop cleansing my aura. Don't just leave my aura alone.
While Phoebe Buffay is the definition of ditzy, Kudrow has a highly academic history.
You get in there and you do your job.
Yes, doctor.
Okay.
Before starting out as an actor, she worked for 8 years on her father's medical staff, during which time she developed particular expertise in the field of headaches and why we have them. Her brother is also a neurologist. Perhaps cleverness just comes naturally to the Kudrows.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm just not an actor.
That's right. You're not.
Number 6, Rowan Atkinson. An actor who's rumored to have listed his profession as engineer on his passport. Rowan Atkinson can do that because he has a master's degree in electrical engineering from Oxford, which is something that's almost impossible to believe, considering his internationally acclaimed forays into goofball comedy. Most notably as silent slapstick Mr. Bean and chaotic Secret Serviceman Johnny English.
Johnny English, I'm here to see Pegasus. Still, no sense rushing things.
A frequent political commentator and activist, as well as an automobile enthusiast.
Up to the rev limiter, good.
It turns out that beneath that famous turkey, there's a marvelous mind. Number 5, James Woods.
How about I'm gonna knock this f***ing door down and come in there and shove your head up Turtle's ass?
Well known for playing the villain, James Woods was anything but bad at school.
Where are you? You're in that place. Where are you? No, you're not. Where are you? Where are you? I'm always here for you.
The Casino, Nixon, and Hercules actor smashed his SATs, apparently even achieving a perfect 800 on the verbal portion.
But unlike you gods lounging about up here, I regrettably have a full-time gig that you, by the way, so charitably bestowed on me, Zeus.
He enrolled in a linear algebra course at UCLA while he was still in high school, and eventually studied political science at MIT.
A lot of people thought it started way before Bush. It started with Barney Frank and Clinton. I mean, that point is, it's apolitical. That's one thing.
Probably even more impressive than all of that, however, Woods boasts an IQ score in the 180s, which is almost 50 points higher than the approximate entry level for Mensa.
I don't think this is meant, in this kind of situation. He said, if it's legal.
Number 4, Mayim Bialik.
Now, before this goes any further, you should know that all forms of physical contact up to and including coitus are off the table.
She plays a neurobiologist on TV, and she has a PhD in neuroscience in real life.
When I auditioned for the part, on my resume under miscellaneous, it says PhD neuroscience because I didn't know where else to put it on an acting resume, so I put it under miscellaneous.
Mayim Bialik's is a role versus reality match unlike anything else in the industry.
When I get back, I'm gonna make you some chicken soup. How does that sound?
Jewish.
After gaining fame as a child star on Blossom, Bialik was brought back into the public eye when she starred as super smart Amy Farrah Fowler on the geek comedy TV series The Big Bang Theory.
My most recent paper on how cooperative long-term potentiation can map memory sequences and dendritic branches made the cover of Neuron.
Just a few years before her debut on the show, Bialik finished her studies, gaining particular note as a specialist on obsessive-compulsive disorder in adolescence. It's no wonder her on-screen brains are so believable.
Jewelry? Seriously? Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently Oh, it's a tiara!
Number 3, John Cleese.
Last year, the government spent less on the Ministry of Defense than it did on national defense.
Widely listed as one of the great comic geniuses of all time, John Cleese was overflowing with more academic artistry as well.
It's dead, that's what's wrong with it.
No, it's resting, look.
Look, my lad, I know a dead parrot when I see one, and I'm looking at one right now.
A graduate from Downing College, Cambridge, he was instrumental in making the university's Footlights Club a prime breeding ground for British comedy.
I mean, you're allowed to be an asshole, right? If they want a picture with you.
Fawning creatures coming up telling me how wonderful I am and how can I be as wonderful as you? Fuck off.
In terms of his actual studies, Cleese left with a law degree, but possibly his most important achievement at Cambridge was his befriending Graham Chapman.
You cunts! You stupid, bird-brained, flat-headed...
Beside a group of other highly educated blokes, the duo would go on to pen Monty Python, one of the most surreal success stories ever shown on TV.
Blimey! Blimey! If they're not keen enough to stay here when they're here, why should we allow them back? Oh, at the taxpayer's expense! I mean, be fair!
Number 2, Dolph Lundgren. The on-screen epitome of an all-action hero. There are considerable brains to back up Dolph Lundgren's brawn.
As you can see, Drago averages 1,850 pounds. So the result's quite obvious.
And what results are those?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Best known for